Hey guys, welcome back to Code with Chuck. Today we're going to take our existing project we've been working on with an AI monster, and we're going to give it the ability to to see players that are nearby and follow them, and then maybe do like or something. So far what we have from our last video in part one is just we have this Kraken asset which was free off the Unreal Engine marketplace, and he basically just picks a random location within a set distance and then he walks to it, and then there's a delay of 5 seconds, and then he walks to the next location, and we have these idle and walk animations accordingly. So let's get right into it. So we're going to go back to our Kraken AI blueprint, and just to keep things clean here, let's add a couple comments. Okay, and then we'll add one for Rome. All right, perfect. So now we need some sort of component so that the monster can detect players that are nearby. So if we go up into this add and we type in pawn sensing, there's this AI component we can add called pawn sensing. And if we go back to the viewport, we can see now we have some new things in the viewport. Now, let's make some adjustments here. So this peripheral vision angle, let's set that to maybe 70 degrees. And you can see we have this green cone shape. And this is basically the eyesight of your monster. And you can adjust this however fit for your character. So we've adjusted the angle so you can't see straight out, and we can make it so that you can see further as well. So with the sight radius, now we can see that we've doubled the distance that he's seeing out. The pawn sensing component also has hearing sensing abilities, which we aren't going to touch on in today's video, but that's what some of these other circles are. Right now we're just going to focus on this green cone. Okay. So now that we can see that's there, we need to implement it somehow. So if we come back to our event graph and we click on the sensing component again and scroll down, there's this event called onCPawn. So basically this event is going to trigger whenever the monster sees a pawn, being a character or something of that nature. So when the monster sees the pawn, what do we want to do? We want to begin to move to that pawn's location. If we look at our old roam function, we can see in the AI move to, there's an option for a target actor, and we could use that instead of a destination. So let's go ahead and let's copy our AI move to and move that down. So our pawn will be our target actor because that's the pawn that's being seen. And then our pawn that we're moving is going to be a reference to self. And then we'll keep the acceptance radius the same for now. There will be an issue with this, but I'm going to leave it to demonstrate that later. Okay, so now we are successful, we need to do something, or when we fail, we need to do something. So if the AI cannot get to the location of the character, then why don't we put it back to Rome? Okay? But on success, we need to do something. So in order to play an animation upon cue from a blueprint, we need to create what's called a montage. So we're going to go back into our content folder, and we're going to go under animations and create a animation montage. Again, selecting the Kraken skeleton, and we're going to call this a attack montage. Actually, let's do this short range attack montage, because we might have different attacks for this character, so this is going to be our short range attack. So let's go ahead and open that up. And over here on the right, if you click the asset browser, you can see all the animations for this skeleton. So I see some here that are, I see smash attack, sweep attack. See what smash attack looks like. So we're going to drag it out into our timeline. Play, okay. Looks like he does a little smash. And then up here under rate, we can change the rate of it. So like if we want him to smash faster, we can do that. So maybe that's too fast. Let's do 1.5 for now. Okay, perfect. So we can leave the montage. That's all we needed to do was add an animation to it. So on success, we can do play anim montage. Okay, and so our montage for this, we need to select the one we just did, which was the short range attack. So to recap, the AI moves, and then when on success, he's going to play this montage. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so it looks like he sees me because he's definitely turning to follow me. And then, well, it looks like he gets there, but then doesn't play an animation. And then since he succeeded, I'm here in his sight. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so now he's off. All right. One thing I noticed is after this anim montage, we probably want it to roam again. So let's just do something like this. To do in order for this montage to play, because it isn't playing yet, is in our animation blueprint we have to add something. So let's move this blend space open, and we're going to add a default slot. What this default slot is it allows the chance for animations to be played through blueprints. So let's see what we have now. Okay, so he sees me, he's following me, and then it's a little hard. He's doing his smash attack until I got out of the way. Now, one thing that I noticed is, we're all the way like under the belly when he does his smash attack. We probably want to be in front of him. But because it's taking the acceptance range based off the center of this character, okay, so maybe the acceptance range comes out to here. Well, basically we could just have the acceptance range come out further, give us a better result. So let's go back to the event graph. And when chasing a pawn, let's set this to a higher number. Let's see what 3,000 does. All right, so, yep, he sees me. Oh, 3,000 is too big because he instantly attacked even though he is quite a ways away. So maybe we're much too big for that. Let's do 1,200. Again, a lot of things in these games is just trial and error, making adjustments and seeing what looks right. Okay, he sees me, and he's... So it looked like he attacked at the right time, but what happened is he's basically attacking multiple times in a row rather than just once and finishing the animation. So we need to do something that basically is saying don't attack again until it's completed. So a great way to do that is to create a variable. Clean things up. All right. So let's create a Boolean variable under our monster and let's call it is attacking. Okay. So what we're going to do is when we start this pawn sensing, we're going to set is attacking to true. Okay. And then we're going to go through this process. Before we get back to Rome, we're going to set is attacking to false. Now, what we can do with this is we can put a branch in here. We can say if is attacking is true, then do nothing. But if it is false, then we will continue with our process. Hopefully this way it'll only do the attack once and then not again until it's completed. Okay, so he's following me. He's attack. Oh. So it's kind of a similar result, but then he's also turning away at the same time. And I think that part of this is also that when we go through this Rome loop, Rome is being called again, yet we're in the middle of an attack. So maybe we need to do this same is attacking branch check under Rome. So if it's not attacking, okay, let's see what we got. So we're a little bit closer, except he's still turning while he's attacking. So let's see what we need to do here. I think what we need to do is, before we do this AI move to, we need to stop any existing movements. To do that, we need to get the AI controller. Sorry. There we go. We're going to get a reference self. We're going to get the AI controller. And then we're going to stop movement. This aborts the move that the controller is currently performing. So we're going to stop anything. And then we're going to start a new one. So to make sure that it doesn't play multiple times over, we have this attacking variable. which is going to be set to true. And then when we're done, it'll be set to false so that this can run again if needed. All right, let's go ahead and see what we got. Okay, so he sees us and he does his attack move. Okay, still seeming a little bit glitchy. All right, so what we need to do is add a delay after the anim montage, and this is going to prevent the program from continuing until a set duration. This duration is going to be the length of our animation, so we're going to use this return value of the anim montage. So let's go ahead and play this and see what we got. Looks like he sees us. He's attacking. Now one thing is, okay, yeah, so if we run out of his sight, he kind of leaves us alone, and that doesn't really make a whole ton of sense for most games. So we need some sort of way for him to remember who we are and continue to chase us. So why don't we break this up a little bit differently? All right, so let's start with a tick event. And upon tick, let's call a new event we're going to make. So let's create a custom event and call this update pawn chase. So every tick, we're going to do update pawn chase. Now, so that I don't get yelled at, I know that tick is not the best way to call this because it may actually call it too frequently and it's taxing your system. It's better to use a timer. The reason I'm doing this is I'd rather not make things complicated for people who are really new to this. So just keep that in mind, and that maybe we would want to change this to a timer in the future. Okay, so we're going to basically create an update pawn chase event that will continue to check and see if we're currently chasing something. So let's promote this pawn to a variable, and let's call it chasing pawn. Let's take everything else and move it down here for now. Okay, so when our AI sees a pawn, he's going to set the chasing pawn. So then upon update pawn chase, we're going to have to do a few things. So the first is let's get chasing pawn, and let's see if it is valid. Now I'm going to change this to the other is valid node. I feel it's just a little easier to use. You don't have to do a branch statement as well. Okay. So if it is not valid, then we should probably just roam. If it is valid, we should probably check how far the player is from the monster and then continue to chase it if it's within range. So let's see here. We do this. We could take our chasing pawn and we could get location, the actor location, get our location, we could compare these two locations to try and figure out how far away we are. So now we've basically created a distance between the two actors. So now we need to say, okay, if this distance is, actually, if this distance is less to than whatever set amount we create, let's do 2,500. We don't have a huge landscape to play on. So let's create a branch, and if it is valid, then we're going to check and make sure our distance is less than our set 2,500. If it is, then we're going to continue on. So let's look at what we got down here. So if our distance is less than that and we're not currently attacking, then we could do this. I believe we could just put all of this right up here. So if the distance is less than, then we're going to continue with this. And our target actor is going to be this chasing pawn. So let's go ahead and see what we got. Okay, we definitely have something wrong because he's glitching quite a bit there. But then once he starts chasing me, he's okay. Then he attacks again, and he continues to follow me. Let me run underneath and see if he still figures out how to do it. So then, yes, he continues to follow me. Okay. Since his speed is so close to mine, it's going to be hard for me to get far enough away for him to leave me alone. That could also easily be adjusted. Okay, so we need to handle the glitching when he wasn't chasing. And I think the reason that it was doing that is we're calling this update pawn chase from the tick very fast. And then when there is no chasing pawn, so when it is not valid, we're calling roam over and over and over and over. So maybe there's a better way to do this. So just like with the attack variable, let's create another variable up under roam. Okay, so let's create another one and we'll call it is roaming. That's going to be a Boolean as well. So we're going to set it here. Just do a little bit of cleanup here. Okay, and we're going to set it to true. After we're done with this, we're going to set it to false. So just like we did this is attacking branch, we need to do a branch. So we're going to get is roaming, and we're going to create a branch. A bit more room here, so if roaming is false, then we're going to check is attacking, and if that is also false, then we're going to continue with our roaming. All right, so let's go ahead and check that again. He's moving a little bit cleaner now. I haven't gotten in his sight yet, so he's not doing anything. Because remember that pawn sensing is just in front of him. Keeps turning the wrong way, so I can't seem to get in his vision, but let's see if we can get it here. Oh, there we go. Okay, he makes his attack. Attack. I'm going to run underneath him, see if he turns away. Continues to follow me, which is what we were looking for. All right. Well, that's going to be all for this episode. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.